Teenagers are known to be rebellious and do crazy things. Their reaction to almost everything can seem over the top and unnecessary. But ever wondered how they would react if they were given a life sentence? In today's video, we have 4 teens with the most insane and unexpected reactions to life sentences. If you anticipate that tears and tantrums is all what this video is going to be about, then you are definitely wrong. On number 4 on the list, we have David Moses. David was just a teenager when he was sentenced to prison for lifetime. After being sentenced to prison for killing an 81-year-old woman, the teenager tried his luck one last time to receive a slightly better sentence this time. David Moss committed a burglary along with 2 defendants, Angelique and Katilia Nash, better known as the Nash Sisters. The trio was convicted for the murder of Dorothy Session, who was hit in her head, which subsequently caused her death. But this wasn't the end of all the criminal record that David Moss had under his belt. The teenager had previously sexually assaulted his own sister and his developmentally disabled cousin and 7 other children when he was in a group home. But his reaction to the life sentence for a second time is probably what creeped and outraged everyone in the court. The convict displayed absolutely no regret or remorse for his action and even seemed to be yawning through some parts of the trial.
Lady. The robbery apparently went wrong, and while trying to escape, the teen shot and killed the woman, who was completely defenseless. The teen just sits and smiles as his life is being taken away from him. He's also seen actually falling asleep at one point during the sentencing.
The intense emotional, verbal, and physical abuse that Mose had to go through as a kid definitely messed up with his head to a point of no return. Number 3, Dylan Shoemaker. One's children are probably the most valuable thing for a parent in the whole world, but the story of this teenage dad will prove you wrong. Dylan was a 16-year-old who killed his own baby boy, Austin. After getting involved in a serious fight with his ex-GF with whom he had Austin, Dylan ended up doing what can only be evaluated as the most cruel thing and killed his own baby boy. When he was taken to court to plead for a shorter sentence, Dylan started crying and feeling terrible for what he had done to the child. Just as everyone in the courtroom started having the ticket's bit of empathy for this stupid 16-year-old, the judge read out a few messages that Dylan had texted his mom that changed the trajectory of this case forever.
After listening to your testimony at trial, I came away with the impression that you minimize your actions, that you are a manipulator, and you try to deceive. The record will show that you admitted that on July 23, 2013, in a phone call to your mother from the holding center, you stated, and I got a quote from the court reporter, "I am a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me," end quote. That statement speaks volumes to me.
The judge recognized Dylan's fake show and sentenced him to prison for a lifetime. Well deserved, we must say. Number 2, Fernando Salgado. This 18-year-old on the list probably had the most normal reaction despite being the most over the top. When he realized that he was sentenced to prison for a lifetime, the kid started having a breakdown and yelling and pleading with everyone to let him go. The teenager clearly regretted every bit of his decision, but sadly, it was all too late. Take a look at the video. Number 1, Lindsay Nicholas. Teenagers are always given exceptions in court, and so was Lindsay, but not in the way you would imagine. Teenager Lindsay Nicholas was sentenced to prison without the possibility of parole not once, but twice. Usually, teenagers are not given a lifetime sentence without the chance of parole, but Lindsay was an exception. On his second trial, where he could have obtained a sentence with the opportunity of a parole, the convict displayed zero remorse or even interest in the trial.
But Nicholas Lindsay showed little interest in the hearing.
There is no indication that this type of...
In a 27-page order, the judge cited aggravating circumstances, including an escalating criminal history, before he sentenced Lindsay to that second term with no chance of parole.
This left the judge retracting the idea, giving him the opportunity of a sentence with parole, and sentenced Lindsay with a lifetime sentence with no parole. Lindsay was behind bars for the murder of Amanda Crawford. When the judge declared his statement, Lindsay was found to be smirking at his decision.
But Lindsay actually grinned when the judge read his ruling, the lack of remorse not lost on David Crawford's daughter, Amanda.
Amanda's parents were satisfied with the decision and called the teenager an animal.
Justice was served, and I'm glad it's over, and it just kind of proves to me that he's an animal as he sat there smiling.
Even his mother lost hope at this point and gave up with this trial.
What the judge ordered, so that's what it is. It is what it is.
What are your thoughts about teenagers being sentenced to prison for a lifetime? Is it moral? How would you react if you were sentenced to prison for a lifetime? Let us know in the comments down below. Like the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another update from us.